It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
And I'm Erik Dobell from Impossibilities at the Gatlinburg Space Needle.
Well, that's a good plug. You got that in quick. That's why you're a mentalist. Yeah. You're mental.
I've gotten used to sneaking it in.
Yeah. And an illusionist?
I don't like the term illusionist.
Why not?
I think it sounds pompous.
So you're an illusionist.
Ouch. Although I guess saying something sounds pompous and you don't want to be referred to as that is in itself pompous.
It is.
Yes.
But I guess, all right, so that's one thing that we'll talk about today is what is the difference between being a mentalist, a magician, and an illusionist?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I'm interested in all of those things.
Yeah.
But I also want to say thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing to the Frank and Friends show on YouTube. You can smash that button for notifications. Oh, that was a smash. I should have said you can gently tap that button for notifications, because now that I've put that mental suggestion into Erik's head, he's going to totally do that.
It looks like a bell. That's why we got a bell.
Now, of course, you'll want to see Erik, but if you don't, we're also available to you on all of the audio podcast apps, like Stitcher, and I don't know why that one came to mind first. Usually you would think Spotify and iHeart, which we're on, and Audible and Apple and Google, and pick one. I mean, we're on there. I think,
I suggest listening because then you can picture me as tall and handsome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And me as well. You can pretend whatever you'd like. Although I will mention that I am wearing another one of the new shirts that I bought from Eddie Manis's dead father.
I was about to say, you said you got that from an estate sale, so you're wearing a dead man's clothes.
Yes.
Which is a good name for a clothing brand.
It's a great name. It's a great name. Well, Eddie Manis, who used to be, I think just finished his term in the legislature, but he runs Prestige Cleaners and Prestige Tuxedo.
Oh.
So his dad passed away about a year ago or so, and he and his sister had an estate sale, and they held it at the warehouse for Prestige Tuxedo, and I was going there anyway to get a tuxedo, and I couldn't believe that his dad is like my closet, where he has all of these sizes ranging from large to extra large to double extra large, depending on how he's feeling that week, or month or year.
How bloated he is.
And so I went right to my size, and I got 10 shirts for $28, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of great deals on merchandise,
did they clean them first? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Prestige Cleaners.
Oh, of course.
Feel the starch on these. This.
Yeah.
This thing is.
I wouldn't have never guessed that belonged to a dead man.
It looks brand new.
It looks brand new. Yes.
I know. So I'm imagining that I'll run into Eddie Manis around town sometime, dressed like his dad. And wonder.
He's going to be like, Father?
Well, thankfully, Eddie was at the sale that day, and he saw me there, and he knew that I was buying things.
Yeah.
So there should be some cognitive.
When my wife and I were in South Korea one time, I lost her in a store. Oh. And then I saw her from behind, and I go up to her, and I tap her on the shoulder. I'm like, oh, there you are. And she turns around. It's this Korean woman.
Oh, no.
And it's just it looked exactly like her from behind. It had the same coat on.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Which also reminds me, okay, so here's how much of an idiot I am.
Yeah.
Because that's an honest mistake we can all make. So when I was living in New York, like over 20 years ago now, when I was a kid, basically, I was a teenager. I was walking down the road, walking somewhere, and I saw my friend's car drive by, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of waved to her, right? And then she was at the red lights, and she had her windows down. She was listening to music. I'm like, oh, this will be really funny.
Yeah.
So I go over to the car, and I stick my head way in, like they do in the Safari videos, and I look her right in the face. I go, hey. And then she turns around, and this woman, who's a complete stranger, just started screaming.
Yes, I would too.
Yes. And I still...
Actually, I don't know if I would, because I'm the person that strangers approach.
Yeah, but like
You're the stranger who approaches people, and I'm the approachee, because people at red lights will ask me for directions.
Really?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, I mean, anywhere I go, it's just people will just start talking to me.
He just looked like a guy that would know where to go.
Maybe that's what it is. I'll tell him. I do tell him where to go.
Where are the estate sales around here?
I've got all the info. So this woman's freaking out.
Oh, she's freaking out. And I'm just like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You have the same car as my friend. I thought you were my friend. And it was like a blue, like a car everybody has. It was so stupid. And she was just, I wonder to this day if she drives around with her windows down still, or she's just like completely...
Well, when you mention cars that everyone has, I happened to see my wife's Chick-fil-A receipt in the trash when I was taking out the garbage yesterday, right? And in fact, I was actually dumping some other stuff, looking for a place, like this, like some refrigerator stuff that had gone bad, and I was dumping it into this Chick-fil-A bag.
Yeah.
And it says on it her name, full name, first name, last name, and her order, and it says the color and make of her car. And I said, why does Chick-fil-A need to have all of this? And she says, well, it's for in case I ever do curbside pickup, they'll know what car to bring it to. I said, well, but it just went through the drive-thru, or how did you do this? Yeah, but it's in the app. They have that, and every time I go there, they print her full name.
That's not the reason why.
Her car and the color of it on the receipt. I said, well, what if you took my car? Then what are they going to do? And she says, I guess they'd bring the food to somebody else.
Yeah.
How would they know?
Yeah.
How would they know that she had swapped cars?
And they'll call you a liar.
Oh, yeah. For shame, for shame.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to get some free wet chicken.
Yeah. Well, Erik Dobell, your show is Impossibilities.
Yes.
And it's at the Space Needle.
That's
and
right.
we do have an upcoming Frank and Friends show episode for See More Smokies Inside Edition.
Yes.
Where we go and we explore. You obviously have figured out the secret that those shows, I wanted to record a bunch while my grandson Artie Rocket was in town.
Yeah.
So we did the wheel at the Smoky Mountain Wheel and Skyfly Soar America.
Talking about the Ferris wheel?
Yeah, at the island. And then we did Parrot Mountain, which will be, which I guess is the most recent one. So you're next in the queue.
Okay, cool.
And so that's why it's good that you're here. So I think it'll be, within the next 10 days or so, you'll be seeing the Impossibilities video.
Yeah.
With
so keep
Erik
an eye.
Dobell.
Don't forget to smash the like and the notification button.
And we had an outstanding time at the show.
Oh, thank you.
And you probably saw, we have a picture somewhere of Artie just enraptured.
Oh, really?
And I had to tell him, I was elbowing my wife.
Yeah.
I said, get a picture of this kid. Because I think I told you this, that I bought him a magic kit. It was probably a little too soon. Yeah. Because his brothers wanted to just break everything and figure out how everything works and tear it all apart. So, but he was...
They couldn't just read the instructions?
His parents took it and put it away because it had too many parts, too many small parts.
Gotcha.
So when I was visiting him, I said, well, I will teach you a mind reading trick that you can do without you don't need a hat, you don't need a wand, you don't need a trick scarf or whatever it is that's in the kit that I bought you. I bought him a kit for his birthday, as I mentioned. I said, I'll teach you a mind reading trick, and you can just do that anytime as long as you've got, this one needs an accomplice, because it's a trick, right? So I taught it to him, and he loves it, and he and I can do that occasionally.
Yeah.
And you can see that some of the adults are like, wait a minute. Wait. I thought this was going to be a joke.
Yeah.
The kid actually got it right. No, he must have just guessed lucky. So it's kind of fun. So he was especially interested in your show because you're a great performer.
Thank you.
And we had a blast. My favorite part was when you had the fishbowl of wishes and you're sticking them to your head and you're reading them without looking at them. You're pulling these blind folded pieces of paper out of the fishbowl and you just stick it to your head or hold it, or it doesn't matter. As long as once you've touched it, you get this, you're looking at the audience and you're looking around and you're like, is there whatever the kid's name was, Jason or something, and sure enough he is, and you correctly identified that he wished in that case, I think he wanted the Pittsburgh Pirates to go to the World Series. It was one of his wishes.
I remember that. Yeah.
And there were two
the sports
people.
Ones are always hard for me because I don't know sports.
Oh, yeah. But there were two people who both wanted world peace, and you made them stand up.
Yeah.
Both of them, and that was to me extremely cool that you figured out who were the two hippies in the crowd, and they looked the part.
Yeah. Scars and everything.
Yeah, and it was great. It was terrific.
Thank you. I'm glad you had a good time.
So we had a fantastic time at that. And while we're on the topic, I would like to point out that I'm wearing I think I am wearing my wedding ring. Because
yeah, that's right. That was that night.
I had no intention of participating in the show. I thought I am here to document the show. I'm here to be not an impartial observer, but to do a favorable report for See More Smokies on Impossibilities. That's part of it. This isn't 60 Minutes. It's not an expose. It's a fun, hey, here's a fun thing to do in the Smokies. You're going to have a great time. So that's the point of it.
Yeah.
Well, you ask for some basic gold men's rings like the one that I have here. I don't know if you can see it, how well you can see it, but there's my very basic...
I can see it pretty good.
...gold ring. Okay. Yeah, of course you can see it. So here it is, my basic gold ring. And I did not intend to participate, but you're looking around and there's like only maybe one guy's got this kind of big ring, but you need some plain ones. Yeah. And there's nobody else is raising their hand. And I'm sitting there going, oh no. And I think my grandson is the one who's pointing at me like this.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
And my wife is kind of elbowing me, and next thing you know, off comes my ring, and there it goes into the magic act. In fact, there's a photo that will show, I can put this on the full screen. Victoria Henley.
That's a very good picture.
Well, Victoria Henley is a fashion model. Of course she took a good picture, but look at how beautifully composed it is. So here it is. You've got the ring. I don't know. At this point, if you really zoom in, I may have to for you.
Yeah.
It looks like it's connected. So what you did is you took my ring and you connected it to these other dudes' rings, and now I'm screwed.
Yeah, we had to cut them apart. That's the downer part.
Well, you did it using mentalism and magic, because when you gave it back to me, it was in one piece. So I put it on. I'm like, okay, I think this is it. But I had chicken guy before I came over, so I was worried had a little too much salt, and I was like,
yeah.
So, and then the other guy with the similar rings, like, I've got the wrong ring. I'm like, no, you don't, dude. I think I have the wrong ring.
I've never had that happen before.
So I had to give mine back, and you swapped them, and I'm like, now I'm really screwed, because he gives the ring I get from him. I can't even, it's like, I'm like, this is way too small. And thankfully, the other guy goes, oh, this ring, and I was surprised he said that, but I guess he must have some really skinny fingers. Oh, this ring's too big for me. I'm like, thank you. So I'm fairly confident, not 100%, fairly confident, but I'd say about 85% confident that I got the right ring back.
Yeah, I have no idea. You asked me that after the show.
You're supposed to tell me.
Is this my ring? And I'm like, I don't know. If it's not that other guy's got it.
No, you're supposed to assure me that I got the actual ring back, and that it wasn't...
That's my one flaw as a magician, is that I'm very, absurdly honest. Because for all I know, you have a bag of rings in your pocket, and you're just... And you're like, oh, well, I ruined that guy's ring. Here's one similar. Yeah. Oh, for the record, I don't actually break the rings apart or cut them. They do come apart magically and go back to everybody.
Yeah, it's like you did the big ring trick that every magician does, and then you did the same trick, but with my actual wedding ring. Yeah. Which actually, this is my second ring. When I first got married, I've got a really cheap band that you could almost bend if you pressed on it.
Oh yeah.
And but it also I got too fat for it. And on the day of the O.J. Simpson slow speed chase, was right around the time of our wedding anniversary. What was that year? It was around our 9th wedding anniversary. Yeah. My wife and I went and upgraded my ring, and then we got something for her too.
Yeah. So I've celebration of the OJ chase.
No, we didn't know about it until we got to the jewelry store. We got to the jewelry store at the mall in Valencia, California, and every TV in the mall is showing the O.J. Simpson slow speed chase as we leave with my new ring. So that's how I learned about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I know. And so it's an important ring. It's got sentimental value. From June 17th, 1994.
You know the date? June 17th?
Of the date, isn't that the date of the O.J. Simpson slow speed chase?
Oh, that's my birthday. Was that the date?
It's also the date of the Watergate break-in, June 17th, 1972.
I did know that, yep. And it's also Jodie Whittaker's birthday. That's right. Oh, I share a birthday with Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought you meant the kid from Family Affair. What was his name?
Oh, no. I don't know.
O.J. Simpson slow speed chase. Let's check that out. I could have just asked Alexa, but I muted the Alexas because before we started the show. June 17, 1994. June 17th?
Wow, that's an important day in history. 2.5 important dates.
Oh, there's a lot that happened. There's something else that happened on that day too, I'm pretty sure. Like if I did just...
Were you a football fan? Was it a big deal when he was... running away like that?
Oh, yeah. I also lived in Los Angeles. So,
geez.
so he in Burbank. So it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I worked at a radio station that was really involved in covering the case to the point where we went down there and did live broadcasts from outside the courthouse on the first day of the trial, the last day of the trial, and other important junctures. The judge in the trial, Lance Ito, sent me a letter actually thanking me and on behalf of the radio station for we would send down edited versions of our show or redacted versions of our show. Anything about the OJ trial would be cut out, so the regular comedy and some of the songs. It was the Kevin and Bean show on KROQ. We'd send it to the bailiff or whoever, and they would give it to the jurors who liked that alternative rock music. And then I think one of the soft rock stations similarly did that for some of the jurors. And so they asked all the radio stations to send in stuff to entertain, edited, redacted entertainment material for the jurors to listen to.
Oh, man, that is
because they
such
couldn't
a
turn on the regular
pain.
radio.
Yeah. I wonder how that works now with iPhones and stuff. They must have to just take them away and get them off the grid and stuff.
It's June 17, France gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States.
Oh.
So you've got a day. Well, that's a big day.
That's a big day.
Now, I went to your show a week later on my actual birthday.
Yes.
I was there celebrating my birthday. And before and after the show both, we rode the Moonshine Mountain Coaster.
Yes. Yeah, how'd you like that?
I loved it. We'd been there a few weeks earlier to do a video about it. And Klaus said, you got to bring your grandson.
Yeah.
So I bring Artie, the grandson. And then Klaus, I think I have a picture of that too to show you. And then Klaus says, you've got to come back at night after the Impossibilities show. Because the night ride he's got all the lights going on.
Yeah.
And he's very proud of that. So we did both. We rode twice the same day, before we saw you and then again after we saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
That's a nice mountain coaster. I was surprised. I went there for the ribbon cutting, I think it was, and they were bragging about it. It's the world's safest mountain coaster and all that.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe, because some of them, it's like you get on there and it kind of jars you around a little bit.
Well, Klaus, used to run Rocky Top Mountain Coaster.
Yeah.
And they, of course, have, impeccable safety records. And
that's a nice one, too.
He just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So when Tennessee Shine Company purchased what is now purchased and renamed Moonshine Mountain Coaster.
Yeah.
They hired Klaus to come in, and they spent almost invisibly, because you wouldn't necessarily notice it unless you go on every mountain coaster. But they upgraded the track and the brakes, because the old one that they bought, it required the people to stop.
Yeah.
And the car before you hit the person in front of you, and they wouldn't do it.
Of course they wouldn't.
So they would just. So you constantly had people slamming it, and that gets written up occasionally as they have a bad record. So now Klaus is like, that's the first thing we're fixing. So they put in the modern brakes so that you can't crash into the bumper cars, and they upgraded everything. And
I can't wait till they get a bad review for that. I can't slam into kids.
You go to over Gatlinburg for that. They got bumper cars. Get out of here. What's wrong with you?
That's right. They do got bumper cars at over Gatlinburg.
And that got, and Tim Coleman was telling me that, is it the Baker family bought over
bought
Gatlinburg?
it? Yeah.
Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
And the Bakers, they just sold a bunch of their stake in Old Smoky Moonshine, so they probably got cash on hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess they're going to be doing some updates to it and stuff. I don't know if it's going to be changing that much, but they're going to be modernizing it quite a bit.
It's one of those things, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Over Gatlinburg is hugely successful, and I'm thinking if you've got the cash and you can invest in that and just make more money, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm mentioning all of these things, and I mentioned Amazon Alexa a couple of times because that is one way you can listen to the Frank and Friends show.
Yeah.
You can hear us when you ask Alexa to play the Frank and Friends show because we're on Amazon Music, but we're also on Audible, and I highly recommend that you check out Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/frankandfriendsshow, and when you use that URL, you'll get a free 30-day premium membership to Audible.
You're sponsored by Audible?
Have you heard of this? You've heard of Audible?
I've heard of Audible, yes. I love Audible. That's what I listen to on the way to the theater all the time. Yeah.
So then you would know that there's just tens and tens of thousands of audiobooks. There are podcasts. There's new custom audio entertainment that's made exclusively for Audible. Yeah. And when you're a premium member, every month you get a credit for a free MP3 download. And that's something you download and just keep on your computer, on your phone. You just you don't ever have to give it back. And when you're a trial member for that 1 month, you still get the credit and you still get the free download. So I highly recommend get the longest one you can, like 6 or 7 hours, whatever the biggest thing is you can get.
Yeah, get the most expensive one, whether you want to listen to it or not.
Yeah, whatever fits in one credit. Some of them are so big that it requires 2 or 3 credits to download.
Oh, wow.
So what you can do is you can bank your credits, and at the end of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever, you have enough to get the bigger thing. But for the first month, get whatever you can get.
I recommend everybody cancel their Audible subscription.
No!
And then re-sign up with a different email using your link.
Genius. You've been mentalized.
Audible might not appreciate that.
So it's Frank and Friends, audibletrial.com/Frank and Friends show, like you see on the bottom of the screen, and we do thank them. And you can listen to their things on the Alexas, of course, on the phone apps, and it saves your place. It syncs up.
Yeah.
And we right before you got here, I was muting the Alexas, and I was trying. Actually, I was a little frustrated because I didn't want to get up, so I was saying, Alexa, change the thermostat, just to keep we got the lights on. It's a summer day. We want to make sure the house stays cool.
And Alexa asks for your social security number first.
So I've got them all over the house. And my grandson is really expert at manipulating it also. He knows how to ask for the Bon Jovi songs that he wants, but they get frustrated when they hear, because I don't have...
How old is your grandson?
Well, I've got 8, 6, 4, and then a granddaughter who's 2 and another newborn.
And he's listening to Bon Jovi?
His parents must have raised him well, because he loves classic rock. He loves it. And on his playlist, I made him a Spotify playlist. And it's like video game songs and classic rock songs. It's this odd. And then now he's into like John Williams soundtracks. So we started mixing that in. But I don't have every song under the creation of the sun. When you work in radio, you don't really necessarily need to listen to music for pleasure. I don't listen to music recreationally.
Is that true?
Why would I?
Oh, man.
Why would I?
You just get tired of music?
Well, my friend Catherine Frady, who often is here, is an opera singer, and she's like me. She can't listen to music recreationally because she's constantly analyzing it and thinking about it. And for me, it's I'm analyzing, well, why did they play that song next to that other song, and what are they going to play after that? And all I can think about is the mechanics of how that radio station is working, or how that playlist is working, or even when I walk into a store when I'm getting my hair done and they're listening to Pandora or Spotify. I'm listening to every click thing. I'm thinking, well, that's bad. I don't like the way they did that. That song faded all the way out. Now there's dead silence, and I would not have done that. And it's constant, so that can't, I can't relax and listen to it because I'm analyzing all of it. And I'm mostly interested in the talking between the songs anyway, because I'm never going to make a song, but I am going to talk in between songs. Yeah. So I'm much more. So that's my wife has gotten used to that after all these years of marriage. That she'll listen to a song and start talking when the song ends. I'm like, and in the car,
I want to hear who won American Idol last night.
Yeah, in the car, I'll turn down while the song's playing, but when the DJ starts talking, I'm like, what's this? So that's so I listen to music in a different way. Yeah. But so the kids love all of those things. And when Artie was here, he took our little Roku box and unplugged it. He didn't even tell us he was doing it. It was within minutes of him arriving, practically. He unplugs the Roku box, and we have this a Peacock box that we got from the cable company. They just said, you can have a free one, because apparently, and you can have Peacock for free. Just please sign up for it. So I said, okay. I said, yeah,
I've heard a little bit about Peacock and their struggles.
And it's not bad. But when I said it's free, it's an extra, I said, why not? Why not? Yeah. And I think they delivered it that afternoon. I mean, it was, if not that afternoon, it was the next morning. It was within 12 hours, I had this thing on my front door. So I set it up, and we can watch Girls 5 Eva and some other Peacock shows.
Girls what?
Girls 5 Eva.
Girls 5 Eva?
Yeah, it's because 4 Eva is not long enough.
They really called a show that?
Yes. It's Tina Fey is involved in it.
Tell me it's a sequel to Girls Forever.
No, it's a spoof. It's a comedy show that is a parody of 90s girl groups.
Oh, okay.
And Tina Fey is somehow involved, and her husband, Jeff Richmond, does the music for it. But there's another woman who was, the actual creator of the show is a woman who was also involved in 30 Rock, and I would have to Google her name to tell you. But
I love that
she's
Amy
very
Schmidt
good.
show that she did.
Which one's that?
The one with the girl. She's
yes, Kimmy.
Yeah, Kimmy Schmidt. Yeah,
Girls 5 Eva. Let's see who.
that's a really funny show.
Yeah. So this was anyway. I can watch that on Peacock, and there's some other things that we can watch on there. But Artie isn't interested in any of that. He just wants to get to YouTube, and he wants to watch people putting. What does he want?
Pootie Pie.
The
most famous person to ever live.
Oh, yeah. But he watches, Meredith Scardino is the creator of Girls 5 Eva, for those of you who care. And she's very funny, and Sarah Bareilles and Busy Phillips and Paula Pell and Renee Elise Goldsberry from, they're this group, they're the singers, and they're hilarious, and they can sing.
Yeah.
So, but Artie, he just wants the remote, because he figured out last year when he was here that the remote for the Peacock box has a voice command. So instead of using the Roku remote and having to go through that whole alphabet grid and search for the Diet Coke and Mentos videos, which he was on a rush to do those for a while. And then there's some other stupid show that I can't remember. It's these two brothers, and they're annoying, and they do pranks, and they have...
Are they blonde?
And they have a hamster.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're blonde.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who these are.
And they have a hamster maze, and when the hamster does something in the maze, the contestants like fall through the floor. It's
YouTube.
Anyway, and they've got millions and millions of views.
Yeah.
So Artie knows what this is, but he grabs the voice remote and he just speaks to it. Mm-hmm. And he can speak clearly because he wants the machine to understand him. So he makes an effort to, crisp diction like Grandpa. And he gets the machine to do whatever it is he wants. It's at his bidding. He's got the whole internet at his fingertips now because he can talk to the thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he know the power he has?
Well,
is he corrupted yet?
He knows that he'll get in trouble if he looks at the wrong stuff, and that we do check on him. But while I'm doing my radio show out here...
Well, you don't want to speak that anyways. If the wrong stuff is what I'm thinking of, I don't want to say it out loud. That's what the keyboard's for.
Incognito window,
yes.
VPN. I was thinking about getting a VPN. I don't know. Maybe I can get someone to sponsor our show.
Oh yes, VPNs do sponsor podcasts.
I need to get me a VPN next sponsor.
I was just thinking. I think it's Alexa. Alexa is not. Like Siri will only listen to your voice. Alexa's not like that, right? Alexa will just listen to anybody.
Oh, you mean, so I didn't know that Siri would only listen to me.
Okay. So
Because
Alexa does listen to anybody,
I've only
right?
just started using the Siri because my wife got me the AirPods.
Yeah.
And and I didn't know this, but when you've got them plugged in, then the Hey Siri works. So you can say, Hey Siri, rewind the podcast 45 seconds, or more likely, fast forward through the Audible commercial, 45 seconds.
Well, you were sponsored by Audible.
Or whomever, the VPN commercial. Fast forward through the VPN commercial that I've heard a million times. So I can say that. Hey Siri, fast forward X number of minute.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't.
Hey Siri, mind your own business.
I found this on the web for fast forward year 00. Check it out.
Thank you, Irish Siri. I give my Siri an Irish accent.
Mine's British.
I thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
When my wife and I went to Ireland, maybe 5 years ago, 2016, so 6 years ago, we fell in love with the voice on our GPS. Half right. And we thought, that's it. We're changing all of our series to Irish.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, so now I know how to use this. It can make a call or send a text or things like that. But the Alexa will listen, I think, to anybody. You just say, Alexa, do this, that, or the other thing.
Okay, so it is Alexa. So here's why I was telling you this. If you go into a store that's playing music, I've done this multiple times. I'm not going to say what stores, but there's a lot of them on the Gatlinburg Strip. I can just walk in and go, hey, Alexa, play the NWA.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah, so fun little prank for you kids out there. Fun, harmless little prank.
Maybe, it might be more fun if you pick like Bay City Rollers or some obscure.
You can play your favorite music, but I love the NWA.
All right. Fantastic. I mean, I was recently writing a chapter about there's an Air Supply song that I'm quite fond of.
Yeah.
So I thought I could, that might be something.
Yeah.
I could ask for. That's hilarious. I don't think you have to say hey though. It's hey Siri.
Yeah.
I won't say
you
it.
just say Alexa for Alexa.
Well, I just said it again and now it came back on. Never mind. Forget it.
Okay.
I think you turn it off. I thought it only worked when it was plugged in.
No, it works all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you can shut it off in the settings. I got mine shut off.
Okay. Well, apparently I don't know. I'm still new to the series.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using it. I've had it, but I've never used it. Whereas the Alexa, I know to mute. I set those off so I wouldn't be setting it off during this conversation. But you just start with Alexa. And you can also reprogram it to say it can be Echo, or you can also program it to say, to accept the phrase computer.
Oh, like Batman?
Well, like Jean-Luc Picard, computer.
Oh, yeah, him too.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of Batman. It was like, they would go to the Bat computer and they would type in the thing.
Oh,
they
Batman
put in
the
the
animated
paper cards.
series, he'd say, computer, tell me this, this, and this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the Batman I grew up with.
All right.
Yeah.
So I liked no.
Yeah.
Adam West
yeah.
and all that stuff.
I don't think they had the talking computers back then.
Well, if they were going to, they'd have it on Batman because they were very advanced.
Of course, they had a lot of technology they didn't have back then, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, look, the guy had a car phone.
They had a car phone and a red telephone. They didn't have those back then.
He had everything. I remember my dad thought he was so cool because he bought a red telephone for the house, and
That is cool.
knew that I would be into it because
That's really awesome.
I was looking around for like a dish to put over it,
That's such a good idea. I never thought about that.
Yeah, why not?
Of course, by the time I was buying phones, everybody was doing cell phones at that point.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's another guy who worked at K-Rock, and I think he has a replica. I don't think he has the original, but he has the William Shakespeare head that you tilt back to open the door to the Batcave. But he's enough of a collector. His name is Ralph Garman. He worked there after I did.
Yeah.
And he did a podcast. It is a great Adam West impression, and did a podcast about Batman with Kevin Smith. So that's how big into it he is.
Oh, wow.
So,
I know what podcast you're talking about.
Yeah. So this guy Ralph, he worked at K-Rock after I did. In fact, we crossed over it a little bit. We used him for his Adam West impression a couple of times. So he may have the actual, Shakespeare head from the TV show. I don't even know. But I think you can buy replicas of it nowadays.
Yeah, I should get one. I should get one for the theater.
That's way cool if you're into Batman and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my show. That was my favorite.
I got to talk
show.
to Chris about it first. See what he thinks.
Well, before we wrap.
I got one of those Kit Kat clocks.
Yes.
And thankfully he was into that more than I thought he was going to be. He loves that thing. Chris is my business partner, by the way, for anybody.
when Victoria and I were shooting the stand-up for the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
we were in a time crunch.
Yeah.
We want to get in and get out. We're right in your lobby, so we're blocking traffic. We don't have much time to redo it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the shot framed perfectly because she's tall. Mm-hmm. I think she's taller than me with her heels on. So,
she's model tall.
Yeah. She's tall. She's thin. She's America's Next Top Model.
6'8".
Lady. Yeah.
6'9".
She's not that tall.
Everybody looks that tall to me.
Well, I mean, here's another picture.
When you're 5'1", the whole world's giant.
Well, we've got a picture of us, and I guess I'll find it for you.
Yeah.
Of the three of us together.
Let's slide that in there. Did you get the Kit Kat clock in?
Well, when we were doing the bit, we only got the tail.
Oh, so this is doing this the whole time?
So back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, here's the three of us, and I guess Victoria has managed to stand in a way that you can't tell how exactly
You're right.
giant
She's standing forward. She's a pro.
And she's got her flats on instead of her heels.
I should get an apple crate.
Knowing that she'd be standing with me. So look, she's tried to do her best to come down to my height so that when we stand together.
She did that.
She's
She knows what she's doing.
I love Victoria. What a pro.
So,
Just the tail.
Yeah.
Just the tail is like between my head and I thought about it. I thought, well, maybe I'll just leave it in because it's kind of funny.
We had a kid come to the show one time, and they're checking in, the parents and the kid and all that. And this kid goes, "Look, Mom, it's the clock that's in all the horror movies." And up until that point, I'm like, oh yeah, it isn't, because they always have that one scene with like the dark filter. And it's
oh wow. Well, Erik, we filled up a whole show, and if you can come back and do another one, I'd love to. I'd love for it to.
I don't feel like we talked about anything.
Bingo! That's the goal. It's when every radio morning show. When their boss says, "What did you talk about?" They will quote Seinfeld and say, "We do a show about nothing." And we just did.
Well, good.
We just gave you 30 minutes of lighthearted, 35 minutes of lighthearted, fine entertainment. I'll mention that we have the Frank and Friends merch store with the Frank and Friends.
Is that a beach towel?
This is a super, super soft beach towel.
Oh, that is super soft.
Look at that. It's got the logo on there.
Oh, let me.
Yeah, please enjoy.
That sound, I don't know if you can hear that. That's me rubbing it on my face.
Oh, nasty. And I've got the mugs. One of my hopes is that enough of you will buy mugs and beach towels or whatever, bucket hats, t-shirts, tank tops. I want to get some new glassware for the show. I've got, pint glasses and these like wine tumblers that we could take outside and do a poolside show. I can't take the glassware out to the pool.
That's what I got to use for wine, or the tumblers. I always break the long stem.
Yeah.
I'm clumsy.
So I want to get a bunch of that using the profits from the Audible trial and also from the merch sales. So go to frankandfriendsshow.com/store and pick up something nice. Please do subscribe to us on the YouTubes. We gained quite a few.
And don't forget to hit the notification bell.
Bingo. That way, if you do the thumbs up, it's nice. So we, I appreciate the thumbs ups. I appreciate the comments. I mostly appreciate the subscribers because, YouTube's a racket. You got to get past 1,000.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you made it to 600, right? Over 600.
We're closing in on 700. Last we're at around 680 right now.
I don't know how you feel about that. Looks like it took us 6 years to hit 1,000 subscribers.
It's that.
Yes, our YouTube channel's rocking.
No, I get it. I totally get it. It's really hard. It's super hard because most people. YouTube is the second most popular website in the world after Google.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the people, you all watch YouTube, but most of you don't sign in, and most of you certainly don't hit the subscribe button. You just scroll around or you search for specifically what it is you want. And in my case, I can look at the metrics and I see that most people are just clicking the link that I've shared on Facebook, and you're just watching it without signing in to YouTube. Well, I'm asking, if you have a Gmail account, it's the same password as your Gmail account. Just sign into YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and help us get to 1,000. Because then, as I said to Frank Rosamond the other day, our show will start making sense.
Yeah, I was about to say too, because we're monetized.
Our show will start making sense.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you meant that in a literal sense, because
I did. But it also, I mean it in the figurative sense.
We're monetized. We make about $100 a year.
You know what I could do with $100 a year? Do you know how much I spend on batteries?
I was telling you, should get rechargeable batteries for those things.
I will have to get rechargeable batteries.
Yeah.
Let me see. Make sure yours are still on. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I would love to make $100 a year from the YouTube, and you can help us by getting us past 1,000 subscribers, and then we can start doing the fun. Then you're allowed to go live. You can.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
You can go live on YouTube. From a desktop computer, but when you're over 1,000, you can apply to go live mobile from your phone. So we could be at your theater live on YouTube.
Oh, yes. That's a good idea. Subscribe.
So thanks so much for all of that, Erik Dobell. Stick around. We'll do another show coming up real soon.
I'd love to.
And we appreciate you for all the things. It's the Frank and Friends Show. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Erik Dobell.
From Impossibilities at the Space Needle in Gatlinburg.
IrisTheater.com.
And we'll talk to you again next time.